is the GOAT of American MMA? What better of a time to find out than 4th of July week here in America? We're celebrating 250 years of freedom. Let's get straight into it. 13 fighters are going to appear in your screen for the 13 stripes on the flag, for the 13 colonies that declared independence from Britain back in 1776. Let's get into it. To start off with some dishonorable mentions who will not make the list because people have called them GOATs before. TJ Dillashaw will not be on this list simply because he did PEDs. Enough said. In addition, John Jones will also not be on this list for the same reason, and because here in America, we don't like people, especially dangerous fighters, who look at somebody like a woman or maybe the mother of children and decide that that's going to be their next title defense, okay? We like people who pick on their own size. We like people who want challenges here in America, not 50-year-old Stipe, and definitely not mothers of children's, okay? We move on to some honorable mentions. To start off, Dustin Poirier. We all love Dustin Poirier, but of course that undisputed championship has eluded him, so we can't add him to this list, but he's done so much in the UFC. He's fought the best of the best. He's given us wars. He's sacrificed his soul to the UFC, basically, and we love Dustin, especially after recent events. So we love Dustin. We're going to mention him, but obviously he can't make the list because of the title. We move on. Cody No Love Garbrandt, another famous American fighter here. Won the bantamweight title off a flawless performance against Dominic Cruz, but never defended it. And also, as much as he is this popular fighter, he had the highest peak, that anybody has ever seen, and then he faded off rather quickly. So it's a shame. We all love Cody, but that's it for him. Aljamain Sterling is the next honorable mention here. People were considering him, getting close to be one of the bantamweight GOATs before Sean O'Malley knocked him out. Now, he won the bantamweight title once. He defended it 3 times, even against Henry Cejudo, who did come off a layoff. He perfected this Funk Master backpack style, but here in America, we like some more exciting fighters. And but we give credit to where it's due. Aljamain Sterling has done well. He is still fighting, and he's in the featherweight division now. But yeah, doesn't quite make the list. So we move on. Number 13 out of 13 is Sean Sugar Show O'Malley. We just talked about it. He won the bantamweight title, knocking out Aljamain Sterling cold. It was a great fight. He's defended it 1 time, which is a bit debatable, obviously, because he had the rivalry with Chito Vera. Vera had no business being in that title fight, and we saw that because Sean O'Malley put a whooping on him for 5 rounds. But other than that, he's only lost to, one of the GOATs of the sport in Merab, and he has a 50% finishing rate, so we got to put him high up there. Everybody loves him, the younger generation especially. Sugar Sean makes the list at 13. Number 12, Dominic Cruz. Now, he's won the title 3 times if we're counting the WEC-UFC merger era, and he's defended it 3 times. The thing about Dominic Cruz is obviously he has been a pioneer of footwork. He mastered that figure 8 style. A great fighter to watch, but a little bit more of a decision machine, right? Not many finishes. Was in the UFC for a shorter amount of time, about 7 years, but his impact's incredible. The legacy he leaves behind is amazing. He had a great comeback to win the title, and people love him. I love him on the analyst desk, and he's definitely one of the higher IQ fighters of all time. We move on to number 11, Frankie Edgar. Everybody loves Frankie Edgar. He's fought in bantamweight, he's fought in featherweight, he's fought in lightweight. The dude has always been in for a scrap, and he won the title once, defended it 3 times, has a little under 25% for finishing his fights, which is okay. These smaller guys, it's going to happen. But he was in the UFC for 15 years, man. We got to give him credit for that. His impact has been undeniable. It's probably a 10 out of 10. He has almost 8 years of octagon time, which is insane, and he's only fought legends. So we gotta give, across 3 divisions too. Resilience, the definition of resilience is Frankie Edgar, and had amazing fights with Gray Maynard for that trilogy that they went through. So Frankie Edgar, number 11 on the list. We go to Justin Gaethje, who cracks the top 10. Now, I freaked out because Justin Gaethje won at the White House, but because he won at the White House and was an underdog, we got to put him in this list. Also because he has amazing finishes. He's called the highlight for a reason. He has not defended the belt yet because obviously he just got it, but he beat an undefeated fighter, and his strength of schedule has been absurd. He has only fought the best of the best, and he's only gone into wars. When you think of the UFC, you definitely think of Justin Gaethje because you want to see firefights, and that's what he does. He's a BMF guy, and like I said, he's caused serious damage to elite competition, has only been in wars, and he has 17 performance bonuses. So it easily cracks the top 10 in my book. Now, number 9, people might argue this, Sean Strickland, 2-time middleweight champion. You might love Sean Strickland, you might not. When it comes to being an American, Sean Strickland is probably number 1 at being an American. He absolutely loves all the American habits and activities, you could say. So he is definitely up there. Doesn't finish that much, but has mastered that Strickland style that we have seen him cause so many problems for other fighters. He's been in the UFC for 9 years and counting. His impact's a little less, but, like I said, he's not getting that many finishes, but his persona is second to none. He causes so much controversy, and so he's going to be at number 9. Number 8, Matt Hughes, 2-time title winner in welterweight. He defended it 7 times, which I believe is still the record. He has over 50% of finishes in his career. And even though his strength of schedule might not be all the best, we know that he's fought GSP several times. He was in the UFC for 12 years, man. He's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. He kind of made ground and pound a thing, and he was one of the guys who mixed up martial arts. It wasn't just stand and bang. It was him who kind of started, we got to mix all these martial arts together if we really want to be good fighters and rise to the top of the ranks. So he was also a draw during the UFC, being, in the bad times, the dark times of the UFC. He was a big draw. So he's in there. Up next, Cain Velasquez, Cardio Cain. I feel like Daniel Cormier talks about Cardio Cain every heavyweight fight and just talks about the pacing that this guy had. And that's his legacy, right? He won the heavyweight title twice, defended it 2 times. He has a massive finishing rate, over 66%. Now, obviously, heavyweights are going to kind of, finish more. But he had a hell of a schedule, man. And he fought for 9 years. He changed the view on heavyweights, how they can fight, again, with his cardio. The pace that he put on was just relentless. So we got to put him up there, man. He headlined 2 of the biggest cards in the UFC, too, on cable. And one of them was against Ngannou, and I believe the other one was in 2011 against JDS. So got to add Cardio Cain if we're talking about greatest American fighters of all time. And also, we love what he did outside the cage, right? We love what Cardio Cain did. So up next, Henry Cejudo, at 6. Double champ, flyweight, bantamweight, defended it 1 time each. And even though he didn't get that many finishes, we know Henry Cejudo has been one of the best American fighters of all time. Olympic gold medalist, the double champ. He's faced a good strength of schedule, faced Dominic Cruz, faced Mighty Mouse, beat Mighty Mouse. And he was in the UFC for 8 years. Obviously, he had a couple layoffs, which does hurt him in this ranking. But he kind of made flyweight and bantamweight popular, man, when it really wasn't. his antics, the cringiness of Henry Cejudo, bringing baby faces to his fight against Aljamain Sterling. I mean, he did everything possible to promote a fight, and we do love that here at the end of the day. Better than anything that's, boring, where fighters just don't want to do it. They don't care. And yeah, double champ with a gold medal. He's got to be in there. At 5 is Stipe Miocic. Won the title twice, the heavyweight title twice, defended it 4 times in total, and finished almost 50% of his fights. We all love Stipe. I think we all were just kind of depressed when he came back he's basically with a walking cane going to the cage and facing John Jones, but we love him for trying, right? Stipe has been a mainstay in the heavyweight division when he was fighting. He has been looked at as one of the GOATs forever, the heavyweight GOAT especially of the sport. And I believe, he's a future Hall of Famer, no doubt. Most heavyweight title defenses and consecutive defenses in heavyweight. That's nothing to sneeze at, man. Great fighter. He's got to be up there. He's got to be top 5. Next is Randy Couture. Now, he won the UFC title a total of 5 times, 3 at heavyweight and 2 at light heavyweight. 3 times at heavyweight, he defended it. He did not defend it at all in light heavyweight. But another guy who you will always hear other fighters talk about, especially the likes of Daniel Cormier and people from that era. He finished almost 50% of his fights. Again, he's a heavyweight, light heavyweight. They're going to finish more fights. But he's a legend of the sport. Everybody loves him. And he's a Hall of Famer. He was the first 2-division champion in the UFC, not simultaneously, but just the first fighter to win a championship in 2 divisions. And he won at 43 years old, coming back off a layoff, which is incredible. Even 43 years old at heavyweight, man, fighters can fight a little bit older, the heavier weights, but 43 years old, man, is crazy for him to come back and win a fight, especially a championship. So he's got to be in the top 5, I think, especially with 5 UFC titles. We move on. Personally, one of my favorite fighters, Max Blessed Holloway. Has fought at featherweight, obviously. Has fought at lightweight as well. He defended the belt twice. He won the belt twice at featherweight. If you want to count the BMF title, he's won that, obviously, at the lightweight division. He defended the BMF once, again, if you're counting it. But he defended the featherweight title 3 times. People look at him as a GOAT. Obviously, it's kind of fallen off because of the Volkanovski trilogy, what Topuria did to him. But, dude, he's been in the UFC for 14 years now and counting. The durability on this dude is crazy. I can't believe he still has a chin. He just walks into punches and he's fine with it. He's the definition of stand and bang. He's the definition of BMF, right? He popularized that style. He's an amazing boxer. He's finished about 40% of his fights, and the strength of schedule has been ridiculous. He has faced legend after legend after legend, and is still doing so to this day. We all know that next week he's going to be facing Conor McGregor, and if he wins that, his legacy is absolutely going to be even more defined, even though Conor's coming off a layoff. But dominance in the featherweight division, the Blessed era, the whole Fight Island, thing. He's just amazing. He's one of the most loved fighters ever. And he's still going, man. And he's still putting on amazing fights. So, got to add him top 3, in my opinion. Number 2 on the list is Daniel Cormier. We all love Daniel. We all love our plump friend over on the analyst desk. He's a great guy. I'd love to get a barbecue with him or something. The analyst side of him is great. But when we talk about him as a fighter, he fought in the light heavyweight division, he fought in the heavyweight division, and he won the light heavyweight title twice. He won a UFC title twice, once at light heavyweight, once at heavyweight. Defended the light heavyweight title 3 times, defended the heavyweight title once, And again, finished almost 50% of his fights. Incredible athlete, incredible wrestler, one of the best wrestlers of all time, who eventually improved his striking to be one of the greatest strikers of all time as well. Dominance as well. Obviously, people know him because of the John Jones fights, which he gave a lot of competition to John Jones. He fought Stipe. He was a double champ at one point, Daniel Cormier. Every time you're a double champ, you're going to be looked at as a legend in this sport. He did it at light heavyweight and heavyweight. He's, again, incredible athlete, and his legacy is one of the best, especially because of Talgate. So we can make sure that fighters are actually making weight and not pushing on the towel. Just a little joke there, but Daniel Cormier, you can't take anything from him when we look at his fighting career. Absolutely amazing. I wish I saw more of it. But yeah, won twice. He's always going to be a legend. And when we're talking about American GOATs, he's either one, maybe even 1A, but definitely in the top 3. You're crazy if he's on the top 3. That brings me to number 1, and it's a little bit of a debate because he wasn't in the UFC that long. The legacy's a little hurt because of him departing, but Mighty Mouse, man. Demetrius Johnson has to be the GOAT of American MMA. You win the flyweight title once. You defended 11 times. He had about almost 40% of finishes, 40% finishing rate in his career. His strength of schedule wasn't great. We all know this. But he fought 7 years in the UFC at the time that they were up and coming. And what he did was incredible. He's the most technical fighter of all time in my eyes. I have not seen anybody with a mind like him. I have not seen anybody with the skill set that he has had ever. And when we're talking about flyweights, they're usually going to be more skilled anyway, right? That's kind of what they have to rely on. They can't just rely on power. And he's a Hall of Famer. People talk about him as the GOAT. Joe Rogan talks about him as the GOAT. He brought flyweight to light a bit. He has the record for title defenses. But like I said, he did the part. Now, I didn't really include this into the into the list, but Demetrius Johnson in 1 faced, I think his name's Adriano Moraes, and Moraes is a bantamweight when Demetrius Johnson is a flyweight, and he got knocked out. Demetrius Johnson got knocked out by Moraes by a knee, ground and pound. Demetrius Johnson faces him in a rematch and does the exact same thing to him, which is insane. It was the clean, and he waited for it as well. He saw the opening, he waited for a second, hit him with a knee, and then Moraes was out cold. Again, DJ's basically fighting up a weight class at that point. So that was incredible. That was how he ended his career, by the way. When we talk about America, we're talking about Demetrius Johnson, okay? We're talking about a guy who is just the perfect image of MMA, perfect image of America. We love Demetrius Johnson here in America, okay? I wish he was in the UFC longer, but man, you can't take away what he did. Because even other fighters who, were facing lesser competition still lost to lesser competition. So DJ, number 1, absolutely in my book. I mean, we can kind of make an argument for DC if he had more title defenses, I guess, especially if he beat Jones once. But Demetrius Johnson, man, Mighty Mouse. I think he's the king of American MMA. And that's the list, man. I think that's a good list. Let me know what your thoughts are. As always, like, comment, whatever you want, and subscribe. We will be back soon for International Fight Week. Blessed Holloway versus Conor McGregor. See you all soon.